Mm, Good morning. All right, it is what it is. I'm in my pajamas today. How are you all doing? Let me get us here. Mm. Good morning. How are y'all doing? We are in Saturday, and let me just say, you all, I have been so sick for the past couple of days. It's gotten cold here in Los Angeles. I consider cold, and so I guess that's like maybe right now the temperature is probably 50 something, but it's cold. So I've been just sort of meandering around the house and doing my work this morning. I woke up and wrote an article um and my cats are just on me all the time. Like I wake up and they're sleeping on top of me. I can't move. I can't and so it is what it is. Life is doing what life does. Some of you have asked about the IEP that I had for my son this week and how it went. Let me just say, I don't want to talk a whole lot about it just because, it's my son's experience. But IEPs as they go are challenging. Um, and what it is, what's challenging is that everything, even in the best with the best intentions, it's all about money. At the end of the day, it's about money and how much it cost. And so the thing that I have discovered is that people who have a lot of financial resource, families who have a lot of financial resource, even in public school systems, can navigate differently if they have a lot of money or they have money to pay for things, legal fees, and things like that. And and that's not necessarily been available to us. So there are other ways to do it, like get on the board and do things like that, and just create social bonds, like bond with people socially, and that can help it also. But parenting in the United States, I don't care. I really don't care that I don't think it matters that my son has a diagnosis that he has trisomy 21 or an extra chromosome. I don't think I think parenting in the West is difficult because of the way we do it. And I think that the education system is educating children, all children, into old archaic ways of being that are just about creating people to work and be worker bees. And so um, we don't educate the full human being. That's the problem. Our education system is so fractured that it's not inclusive of the whole family, of the whole being. And yeah, and no family paid leave, all that sort of stuff. So y'all know that I am completely in support of the utter destruction of our systems, all of them. I don't think that any of them have any value. I really and the way that I believe that the systems have to come down is by us beginning to take our energy away from them. We have to remove our energy from the way we're using it and redirect it into a new way, and then we'll begin to grow and build new systems. It's this, the thing that is also challenging is that we get caught up in the conversation of what's right and what's wrong, and trying to fix something that can't be repaired. It cannot be repaired. The system cannot be repaired. It is obsolete. It is like an 8-track tape, is what it is. Our entire system, our medical system, our education system, our government system is like an 8-track tape. There's just nothing for it. It's just done. And so the solution is consciousness. The solution is to awaken to the reality that we're in an outdated system. Same in the UK. Oh, I bet it's the same in the UK because the UK is much older than even we are. Um, no education on boundaries, self-care. That's right, growing food. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So that's what we're really doing now. You guys go check out the video that I posted, the TikTok video of the young woman who talks about how the map has been turned upside down and how that turning upside down of the map turned up the clock, turned up time. And so we literally are thinking, we're thinking in a different direction energetically. Our thoughts go against the energetic flow of the earth realm. And so what this is why I come and talk about the astrology every day, so that we can begin thinking in the right direction, so that we can get our mindsets and our energy going in the right direction. And the retrogrades and the moon phases and all of that help us get off of the old way of thinking and into the new way of being. Okay, so today is a Saturn day. Hi, Madoshi, how you doing? So good to see you. Um, Today is a Saturday, and Saturday is governed by Saturn, and Saturn is at. Oh my gosh, hold on one second. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I just want to make sure. The current chart planet Saturn 9. Okay, perfect. Okay. Saturn is at the ninth degree of Aquarius, and Saturn has been in a square with Uranus. And this Saturn Uranus square has been going on all year. So let me just say that all of the astrology right now is really about us moving out of what I was just talking about, moving out of an old age and moving into a new way of being. And Saturn governs Capricorn, and Capricorn has Pluto in it right now. So you have to understand how these energies all work. It's all like a bit of a puzzle piece. So Saturn governs Capricorn. Capricorn currently has Pluto in it and Venus, and we are undoing those old structures, those old external structures where our emotional power was tied into it. It's like the things that we do, the way that we give our power to, to another person, we create agreements, right? So if I vote for you, you will make sure that my school district has the money that it needs for such and such. Those are external authorities, external powers. We give them to elected officials, spiritual people, leaders, parents, teachers. You give this, I'm going to give you my child and you're going to teach them da, 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 while I go to work. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. So those agreements are coming undone. Those energetics, the way we've aligned ourselves that way is coming undone because Pluto is in Capricorn. And Saturn, which rules today, is in Aquarius. And Saturn, Aquarius is the mind of God. It's the new way of being. It's the innovation, right? So as we let go of the old, Saturn, which governs the place that's letting go of the old, is in the new, saying, okay, now we have all this new, we have this, the old energy is broken up. So now what are we going to do with it? How are we going to realign these energies in the age of Aquarius? And the age of Aquarius says that you have to honor your blueprint, right? So in the age of Pisces, when we all went to school, we all learned the same math, we all learned the same, I remember we used to all watch the same TV shows at the same time, that kind of stuff. That's over with. And now in Aquarius, it's the uniqueness. It's your unique way of being is the thing that's going to give you the power that you need in your life. And you have to, because Saturn governs the earth realm, it's discipline, time, structures. So you have to bring your uniqueness into the earth experience. You have to cultivate your unique identity, how you are, your innovation, like really become someone different than you have been because you functioned a different way than you're going to function now because the old system is coming undone. And it's a slow process. It's not an all or nothing. It's a slow process, but it begins in the consciousness. It begins in your thought form. The challenge that I see with people oftentimes is that they want to make changes, and they want to make changes to the external reality right now, immediately. You can't do it that way. You have to build the internal, right? And the internal is your thoughts, your mind, your feeling. So you build that, and then you take the steps to the external thing so that there is congruence, so that there is foundation. That's why they say there are people who, get rich overnight, but then they lose all their money because they didn't have a foundation to sustain that kind of energy. So you want to do the work internally in your consciousness to remove yourself from those old ways of thinking. I used to think like this. I remember before I really was committed to my gift, and I used to use my gift as a hobby. And when I was using my gift as a hobby, I used to rely on people, friends and family, when I needed money to support me, to rescue me. And so there was a mindset that went along with that, like, oh, I won't have enough. Inside, I'd be thinking, worrying, I won't have enough. So who can I ask for money? Those are signals. That inner dialogue is a signal to the universe. Oh, she can't have enough. She doesn't want to have enough. Who can she ask for money? I'm telling the universe that, right? And so when I stopped telling the universe that energy of like trying to figure it out and what am I going to do had to then begin to realign into another way of functioning. And so I stopped making my passion a hobby and started, and rather than thinking, who will I ask for money? I said, what can I create that will actually make me money? So we have to reorganize our energies. Is that clear? So that is what I'm trying to say. The old way that we used to function has to now turn into a new way of functioning, and it's internal. It's your consciousness. I had to stop telling myself I'm not going to have enough. If I run out, well, I had to stop doing that. That's an energetic frequency, and shift that voice into a voice like, what can I do to create abundance? How abundant am I? And then when I did that, the universe complied and said, okay, now you can do this and this and that. And this is the internal process that allows us to actually begin to realign our way of being in the world to a new consciousness. Literally, you have to unweave your old consciousness. You have to take it down, like trying to take out locks. Okay. Like I'm always, whenever I see people who are like, I comb my locks out, because I used to have locks. I'm like, wow, they comb their locks out. That's fucking amazing. But that is what it's like to comb out your consciousness, to comb out your old ways of being. It's like combing out locked hair and literally untangling those behaviors, beliefs, because they come from your parents and their parents. Just imagine, if you're a Black person in this country and your parents come from oppression. So there's a restraining and a contracting and a holding and a fear. And then you are in your mother's womb when she is a baby, right? And then she grows up and she adapts that from her grandmother or her father, and then she passes it to you. So we're not far away from the generations who've struggled so much. That's why we have to do so much work to heal the energy, to unravel the consciousness and the thought patterns, because we're so close to the generations that have come before us that were entrenched in oppression, trauma, and all sorts of stuff. So we are the first ones who have the space, the time, the ingenuity, the know-how, the willingness to be able to do the work. Right. You coming out your daughter. Ooh, coming out them locks. Lord have mercy. So ginger, honey, lemon tea is so good. Okay. So Saturn in a square with Uranus is meaning that, so squares are always challenging. Let me say that. And Saturn is always challenging generally. But Uranus, it just means that with Saturn in a square with Uranus, the things that you need to do that you have not been willing to do, you're going to be forced to do. So, like these mandates for jobs where you're going to be forced to have to make a decision because you have to change. You have to change. And it is important to understand that change is the only thing that's going on right now. We have to change. So, Saturn is Saturn is the earth realm, discipline structures. Uranus is rapid shifts in Uranus in the Taurus energy. So that means the earth realm. We're being forced to bring a new idea, a new consciousness, a new way of being into the earth realm, into your sensory body. You got to feel something different. You got to do some, and it's at the energetic of your feeling body. It's in your senses, right? So eat, change your diet, change your exercise routines, change, right? It's like literally, and this stuff is so subtle. And the only reason I can talk about it is because I do the work and I pay attention so that I can help my clients and myself. But the work is so subtle. It is so, so subtle. These thought patterns that we have been functioning in are deep, very deep. Like, if any of you ever been to the mountains in like Arizona, those red mountains, right? And they and you can see for like millions of years of sediment, or a tree with the site, and it's like this tree is hundreds of years old, and it creates another ring as it gets another year, another ring comes, right? And that is how these thoughts are in our psyche. They are deep, and we have to go deep. We have to do ritual. We have to uproot them. We have to identify them, and it's subtle. Initially, it's very subtle, and you have to really be willing to question yourself and ask, what am I thinking? What am I doing? What am I feeling? What is this about? I have had deep patterns around, seeking approval outside of myself, like needing somebody to make me, like needing to look in somebody's eyes and have their eyes say to me, I'm okay. You're okay now. So you don't need, right? That's a deep pattern that comes from my mother and her mother and her mother, of women needing, or people needing to like have some external validation to feel safe in the world. And so I witnessed that in my own behavior. I witness myself. I hear myself, like something will be going on, and I'll hear myself think, well, who can I call? Or who can, and I notice it. Look at, you're about to go look for outside validation. Rather than call somebody right now, why don't you pray about this? Why don't you go into this and journal about it? Why don't you, right? Rather than changing the pattern in the now, in the actual experience, shifting the energy. Whew. All right, y'all. Okay, so the moon is in Pisces for the last day. Today, the moon is in Pisces now. It's at the 27th degree. And Pisces is empathy. It's the subconscious. It's the collective experience, the things that we come to together. Then the moon is going to go back into Aries, and we're going to start a new moon cycle. Okay, and so the moon in Pisces is, it's a lot of feeling, right? It's a lot of feeling, a lot of empathy, and if you can be present with yourself with this, you can just ask yourself, is this mine, what I'm feeling? Is this mine, or is this someone else's? Does this belong to me, or does this belong to someone else? Because Pisces is this watery energy, and we feel stuff that isn't ours in it. And with the Saturn in Aquarius, the energy is there's a detachment, right? So these energies kind of are in opposition to one another, is what I want to say. So just pay attention and, be good to yourself today. All right, you all. That's all I got. I love you all very much. Have a wonderful day, and I will be here tomorrow. Peace and blessings. Bye-bye.